Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition of the Ollie Reed Sports Podcast, giving you the latest news and analysis from around the world of college and high school basketball. And today, we're going to be doing our first ever college basketball season previews for the 2025-26 season. And the first team we're going to be talking about is going to be the Indiana Hoosiers as they look to get back to their winning ways. If you guys haven't yet, please go like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're almost at 120 subscribers, and we're looking to hit 1K subs before the end of the 2025 year. So make sure you guys go like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel to support. So first things first, we're going to be talking about the Indiana basketball culture. Obviously, we already know it's a basketball state, and this Indiana itself, we already know about Indiana, is a very big basketball state. And the Indiana Hoosier basketball program has a history of winning national championships, the Bobby Knight days. The Indiana Hoosiers haven't been doing so hot over the last couple of years, and now that Mike Woodson is out of the picture, they have now brought in Darian DeVries, who was the head coach at West Virginia last season, where he had 19 wins in his first year as a Power 5 head coach. Before then, he was the head coach at Drake, and then he was a longtime assistant for Coach McDermott at Creighton. So Darian DeVries has success as a coach, and obviously with the impact players we'll talk about here with Tucker DeVries, Lamar Wilkerson, Tayton Connerway, Connor Enright, Reed Bailey, and Sam Alexis are kind of the top impact players on my list here, but we also have a couple others like freshman wing Trent Sicily, who I think will come off the bench along with North Florida transfer Cy Miles, and he averaged over 15 points per game for the Ospreys last season. And Elon transfer Nick Dorn. I know they have Aleska Ristic. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that name right. And they also have a couple other transfers. Probably going to be forgetting a few, but I know those are the ones that I have mentioned that should make a strong impression off the bench this year. But these are going to be the ones I feel like I'll be playing the most. First, I'm going to be talking about Tucker DeVries. Obviously came to Indiana to play for his dad after playing at West Virginia last season, where he only played in 8 games, but he had a 26-point performance at Arizona in the Battle for Atlantis tournament for the Mountaineers. I think he averaged like over 15 points per game. He was a really good shooter, knows how to space the floor. I think if healthy, he'll definitely be one of the primary scorers for this Hoosier squad. Another top scorer will be Lamar Wilkerson. Lamar Wilkerson is obviously a top-level scorer. He's a big offensive threat coming in from Sam Houston State in the Conference USA. Obviously, did really well there for the Bearcats with a K. But yes, I do believe that with those two are most likely going to be the primary scorers, along with, with Wilkerson being probably the primary scorer since he was a big scorer there. Where do I see them averaging? I think Tucker will probably average at least, I want to say 15 or 16 points, since I feel like the Big Ten is more of like an up and down conference, and Darian DeVries is a fast paced coach, and with Tucker playing in that system, I do believe that he'll be probably average more points than he did at West Virginia in those 8 games that he played there in Morgantown. So with Lamar Wilkerson, I can probably see him, with him sharing the ball with DeVries, I would have to say that he would probably average around, I want to say around like, since he averaged over 20.5 points per game, I want to say he's going to average around 16 to 18 points. And I can see Tucker probably averaging like 16.6 or something like that. I'm just like, I know I'm kind of like making a number up or something like that, but those two are going to be the primary scorers for the Hoosiers this year. Tayton Connerway comes in from Troy. Obviously, he's a good playmaker. He averaged almost 5 assists for the Trojans, who won the Sun Belt Conference last year and made the NCAA tournament. He ranked 3rd in the country in steals with 2.9 steals per game. So I can see him being more of a pass-first guard, but he knows how to take it to the basket with contact. I do believe that he'll be a great asset to this team. Most likely going to be the point guard, the leading floor general for the squad. Sam Alexis, I think he'll most likely will play the fourth spot. Really good shot blocker, great rebounder. He played very successfully at Chattanooga a few seasons back, and then last season played for the national championship team in the Florida Gators. And I think he only played in like 24 games, but they had obviously had a lot of front court with with Alex Condon and Howe. So I do believe that he will be he'll be a key asset on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously with his impressive shot blocking ability. Connor Enright comes in for DePaul and joining Coach DeVries again after playing for Coach DeVries at Drake a few seasons prior. He was a really good point guard. He was a really good point guard at DePaul last season. I think he was like one of the top assist leaders in the Big East. I can't really think of it off the top of my head, but he was a really good assist leader at DePaul University, playing for under Chris Holtman and that coaching staff over there, playing at a Power 5 conference school and averaging that kind of assists. I mean, that definitely helps out the front court an awful lot. I could definitely see a lot of lobs this year for this team. And adding to the lob threats is most likely Reed Bailey, Davidson transfer. I think he's expected to play at the 5 spot. He's a 6'11" prospect with a great handle for the ball and great off the catch and shoot from deep. I think he will play more of a stretch 5, and I think that will play really well in DeVries' systems. Obviously, we already mentioned the bench players first with Sicily. I think, but yes, Trent Sicily. I'll go more into detail with him since I was supposed to talk about it on my Twitter page, but haven't gotten to yet. But obviously, he was a really good basketball player at Montverde Academy. Was one of the top players in the country. I think he'll play more of a 3 for Indiana coming off the bench. I think he's a pretty good catch and shoot guy. Obviously, he played pretty well in the post at the high school level, but with his size, he's gonna have to be a lot bigger to play that 4 or 5 spot. So I think he'll most likely play the 3. I think the 3 or the 4 will most definitely fit him very well there in Bloomington. And I've already mentioned Desai Miles, who was the top player for North Florida last season. Was also a really good rebounder, averaged almost 7 rebounds per game for the Ospreys. Mentioned Elon transfer Nick Dorn, just good athleticism. And where I rank this roster, mentioning them, I want to give him like a solid B or B plus, somewhere in that range. The only reason why I have it as a B is because they only have a couple of players with Power 5 experience, with Tucker being one, Sam Alexis being the other, but they both have limited playing time playing at that level. With Tucker having that injury, and he's proven himself at that level. But with the injury, it kind of sidelined them for most of the year. It kind of shifts him back a bit, and to see where Tucker, if Tucker is healthy, then it'll be a B plus. But I think he is healthy now, and I think it would give it a solid B plus if he is healthy. And Sam Alexis, if he's healthy as well, because I think he also battled with injuries throughout the year for Florida. Now that he's not in a so loaded front court, I do believe that Sam Alexis will continue to get better and develop in the system. And I think that'll definitely help out him and the coaching staff as well. Obviously, notable non-conference games for Indiana this year. They're playing Marquette November 9th in Chicago. They play Kansas State November 25th. They will play Louisville and Indianapolis on December 6th, and then they play Kentucky at Rupp Arena on December 13th. And obviously, this Indiana team is going to be battle tested in this conference. Big Ten, you got to deal with a national championship contender in Purdue. You got to deal with a national contender in Michigan. You're going to deal with a national title contender in UCLA, and then you got to deal with Ohio State, Maryland, Oregon, et cetera, et cetera. I can go on and on because this is an East-West Coast conference now. And over the past 2 seasons, Indiana has failed to make it to the NCAA tournament because of that, but also because they just haven't gelled, that the teams haven't gelled well together. But I do believe with this system and this group of guys here that they have, I do believe this team has what it takes. I mean, as I see right now, this team is pretty guard heavy. Obviously, they can pretty much all shoot the lights out from deep. They can go in the offensive end. If we already know about Darian DeVries and his history, he is a fast-paced coach. He developed a lot of good players in his system over the years. We've seen it. We saw it West Virginia in his first year. He exceeded expectations there in his first year as a Power 5 coach. We saw him help the Bulldogs, the Drake Bulldogs, make the NCAA tournament multiple times in his 6 year. This team's going to be a sleeper. This team's going to be a sleeper in the Big Ten Conference. It's going to be challenging, no doubt, but I believe that this team will have what it takes to win. But yeah, it's definitely a loaded conference. They're going to have to deal with a lot of length, a lot of depth. But like I said, with a guard heavy team, I mean, the team's pretty deep on the guard side. The size-wise thing is kind of an issue, but I think they'll work that out. We just saw DeVries do that at West Virginia last season. I mean, if you saw WVU's front court, WVU's front court didn't really have anybody. I mean, we did. I mean, obviously, WVU did have some forwards on their team, but they barely had anybody to come off the bench on the forward spot. They had a lot of guards that can shoot. Obviously, with Javon Small, for example. And that's the thing for Lamar Wilkerson. It does kind of remind me of Javon Small a little bit. I think he's going to be more of a Javon Small type of guy for DeVries in his first year in Indiana, who can just shoot from the lights out from deep and get this team rolling. And obviously, that's where Tucker DeVries will definitely help him out with that on the offensive end. And with Connor Way and Enright both being point guard type players, that'll definitely help the other forwards, keep on rolling. And obviously, I mean, this team's deep, so that'll definitely help Indiana in the long run. That they're a deep team. But they're deep in the guard spot. With size, it's going to be an issue. But I think if DeVries can handle in the Big 12, I'm pretty sure he can handle in the Big 10. But yes, this is my sleeper team in the Big 10. I think I'll go more into that whenever I do these rankings for each power conference. And that's pretty much it for the Indiana basketball season preview. I know it was kind of short, but I'm going to keep on doing more of these here as the season it gets closer. Once again, if you guys like what you saw here, make sure you guys go like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you guys are listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, make sure you guys give us a like and review. And it's really exciting. I honestly cannot believe that college basketball season is coming up here in the next couple of months. Like I said, I'll keep you guys updated more on my Twitter page as well. If you guys haven't followed that already, that's where I post most of my basketball content. Make sure you guys go follow me on all social media platforms, especially X, formerly Twitter, x.com/OllieReedSports. I'm going to be posting more basketball content than that on when I'm going to be posting more of these season previews. And obviously, once next month rolls along, I am going to be doing my Power 5 conference previews for the 2025-26 season. It's going to be a blast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now, I'll keep you guys updated for the next episode of the Ollie Reed Sports Podcast.